I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer of my snap-on box. I think I'm missing. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pliers in my bottom drawer of my snap-on box. Get ready to fix some cars. Get ready to fix. Let's go. Hey everybody, this is MJ. Today we're going to do some front struts on my 2004 Toyota Camry, also known as the greatest car ever made. But this part is not so great, where you have to take off these stabilizer links. If they get old and rusty, you can't hardly get them off. What you're supposed to do is put an Allen key in that hole and then turn the nut, but it just strips out, so I have to cut it off. So, alright, this is very dangerous, so don't do it unless you are an expert and you have a degree in cutting things apart like I do. I actually have a master's degree in that, so jot that down. Anyway, you should use a metal blade. If you don't, it's not going to work at all. And I know I took the guard off of my angle grinder because I am a rebel. But you can't do that. Only I could do that. But if you have a degree, you could do it. Alright, see, look. But it gets stuck in there, so you got to really... What I used, I just kind of moved it around a little bit so I can get to the part that's kind of sticking out. And then just go at it. I'm going to drink some water. Hold on. So, yeah, be very careful. Well... If you have your degree in cutting things apart, then you'll be fine. But if you don't, do not do this. This is only for experts. Yeah, see, I tried to hit it with a chisel, but it wasn't quite ready. And I cut it some more. I mean, I don't know any other way to get this out when it gets rusty and frozen like this. But... I mean, you could replace the whole sway bar if you want to, but I wasn't doing all that. So, I mean, you can do it however you want to do it. I didn't feel like replacing that whole sway bar. Oh, there we go. Just moving it around a little bit more. So, I don't know what happened to the light here. But you can still see it pretty much. I'm not going to do this whole repair again. Just to get the light right. But you can see it. So yeah, just try not to, you gotta be real steady. Like, I think I could be a surgeon. I think if I was ever an airplane and the airplane went down, there's no doctors on board and we're on a desert island, they'd be like, who could do surgery and get this metal out of my arm? I'd be like, I could try. Why not? I think I could do it. Oh, there it is. Victory. Just pop that out of there. It's only damaged a little bit. It'll be alright. That sway bar. It's fine. So there you go. That's the way I did it. Alright, so 22 millimeters and 22 millimeter socket to get these steering knuckle bolts off. So you just hold one and then you see, even my impact gun wasn't even strong enough, but so I had to use my 24-inch ratchet. If you got a breaker bar, that'll work too. You know, as long as it's 24 inches, should be fine. So yeah, so you can pop that out. I used a swivel for the bottom because I couldn't get my impact in there. So there you go. Then you just kind of guide it out with it. So you just guide it out. That's a Master Tech secret, but now you know. Knowing is half the battle. All right, so get a lady foot. That's what that tool is actually called, a lady foot, by the way. And get that one out. So I put a lady foot in the bottom just so I could have some more control. And by the way, you put a jack under the knuckle. I mean, you got a jack holding up the card, and you got a second jack holding up the knuckle, or it's just gonna be too heavy. It's gonna flop down. It might hurt the lower control arm bushings. So I'll put a jack under there. If you're in a shop, you're just gonna use a dead man or pole jack. They call that too. Yeah. So zip those off. On a Camry, those are going to be 14 millimeters. But I'm taking out these AutoZone struts, and they were 15. These AutoZone struts are terrible. Do not get these. Oh my God, they were making so much noise. I hated them, so I got these Napa struts preloaded with the springs in them already. They were like $350, but they're worth it. So anytime you get a new part, you put them next to each other to make sure they're the same. This part is a little bit difficult. It's easier if you have a friend with you, but I did not. Try to get it on the knuckle a little bit first, and then you can get it up into the holes that they need to go in. There you go, and you can zip those on. I like to try to hold it up in the right orientation while I'm tightening the nuts. Yeah, so then see here, you got some control. You can go up, down, whatever. You're gonna need to go up when you put the bottom of that stabilizer link in, but you'll see in a minute. Anyway, I used the lady foot to guide it into the holes, to align the holes, and then you pop that bolt in there. Oops, see, there you go. This video is actual speed, by the way. I'm very fast. One of the world's fastest mechanics. There you go. You hold it, and then I'm sorry you can't see through me, but you know, you just hold it and then tighten the other side. Then I use my 24-inch Matco flex head ratchet. Most people, well, I mean, you should be torquing these, but I didn't feel like looking up the torque specs. And I have a really good feel. If you want to look up the torque spec, that's probably a good idea if you don't have a good feel, but I can feel it. I'm telling you, I can feel it. See, when it starts bending back at you, that's when you know. Now, don't do this with a small ratchet. You have to have a long 24-inch ratchet or breaker bar. Don't just use a regular size ratchet. There you go. All right, see, this the original. See how it's round? That's why it's hard to get off, because you got to use the Allen key in the front, and it just gets rusty. It'll strip. But the new one, these stabilizer links I got at AutoZone, they're okay. But see, the old one's all loose, and the new one is pretty tight, and it's got those flats on it. So that's how you tighten it. You just put a wrench on the back, and then you tighten the front. The wrench is there to keep it from spinning. It'll just spin. See the bottom? See? You'd be in trouble if it wasn't for me. I saw a video on YouTube, and somebody in the comments was like, how do I do this? And they were like, well, use a spring compressor. No, you're not going to use a spring compressor. You're going to use another jack. There you go. Jack it right into place. See, hold it and then tighten it. There you go. The bottom, I couldn't fit it in there, the impact in there, so I had to use a ratcheting wrench. But yeah, then zip it down. There you go. La-dee-da. It's so beautiful. I should probably spray that sway bar with some spray paint to keep it from rusting, like the metal spray paint, but maybe later. All right, so it's tightening the star formation. Again, I probably should be torquing this, but I'm very confident in my torque skills. And I just drove it like 250 miles, and it's just fine and dandy. So I'm not worried about mine. For you, you should probably torque it, but this video is only for certified mechanics. If you're not a certified mechanic, this video is just for fun, just to watch. Well, I don't know. I have to say that for legal reasons. Down nice and slow. Now look, this is so high. This gap was scaring me. I was like, what the frick? But it settles down. Drive it around a little bit, do some hard brakes, and then a couple days. See, it settled down pretty good. But then I looked at a picture of the original, and the original has a big gap. So mine was just so old. I got used to there not being a gap, and the springs were done. I mean, it's 200,000 miles on this car, and those are the original springs. So There is a gap in the original car, so it's a pretty big gap, but it's fine. I drove it. It feels so good. The suspension has never been better. I've had this car since 80,000 miles. So take it to the shop for an alignment. Don't try to do the alignment yourself. It's not going to work out. You definitely need aligned. The camber, well, the camber's not really that adjustable, but a little bit. But the toe, they need to do. So anyway, take it to get a real alignment. And that's it. It's not that hard. And you will be driving in style. Thank you and have a good one.